Hi guys, Dr. Sam here, helping you get closer to great skin day. So welcome back to part 3 of my Acne Solved series. So today I want to talk to you about post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So those are the little dark marks. They may be red, they may be brown, depending on your skin tone, that are a consequence of the inflammation that's gone before. So they serve as a marker for where your trouble zones are. So typically for adult women, you see this U-shaped pattern with red marks along the cheeks and on the jawline and potentially the chin. Whereas for T-zone acne, it's more typically you'll see red marks on the forehead, the nose, and the chin. So a key consideration is how you change up your routine. Now that things are getting better, you're getting fewer blemishes, your pores are less clogged, and everything's looking brighter and more even in terms of the background quality. How do you get rid of these red marks? So it's important to realize that different skin tones will tend to hang on to that pigment for longer. So the darker skin tones, PIH, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, can last much longer. So the way I tend to look at the routine is we previously had our morning anti-inflammatory step after cleansing and before moisturizer. Assuming that you're getting fewer blemishes, maybe before you were getting 1 blemish a day, now maybe you're getting 1 a week or even 1 just before your period. Now's the time to think about adding in a second preventer in the morning that also helps with pigmentation. Now, my favorite ingredient for this job is azelaic acid. So if you were previously using azelaic acid at night because of pregnancy, you can now go to using it twice a day. For those who are using a retinoid at night, azelaic acid in the morning, retinoid at night. And this is a great non-antibiotic dependent way to manage acne long term. I think it's a great maintenance strategy and one I use in the clinic and on my own skin all the time. Alternatives to azelaic acid include BHA, so salicylic acid, and AHAs, which will both help to some extent through their exfoliation properties to reduce the appearance of pigmentation. Now, where you still might need to use an anti-inflammatory, now's the time to think about using it just directly on individual new spots. I want you to use your preventer and your pigmentation treatment to treat the whole canvas, so using the 13 dot technique. But if you were treating a new blemish, I would treat it directly and then apply whichever step you're using around it. So to recap, for your long-term maintenance strategy, you need a pigmentation treatment, you need a retinoid or preventer like azelaic acid, and you'll still need occasional use of your anti-inflammatory. The next thing to think about is your sunscreen use. So I'm assuming you've been good and diligent and been using it so far, but when we're talking about treating post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, it is vital to include sunscreen as part of this, simply because there's no doubt that UV exposure will tend to make those dark marks darken up even more. The other ingredient that's really worth thinking about adding if you haven't already built it into your routine is niacinamide or vitamin B3. This is a very gentle but useful ingredient that not only helps with prevention because it helps improve pore clarity, but it also helps reduce transfer of melanin from the melanocytes to the skin cells. So again, helpful in reducing that pesky PIH. No discussion around the consequences of acne would be complete without a mention of scarring, the most feared consequence of acne, and something that I think means go straight to a physician. You're likely to need prescription medication, whether topical or oral or both. So please don't hesitate to take that particular sign on your skin seriously. Do know, however, that 1/3 of acne scars will resolve over the course of up to 3 years, particularly those that are what we call rolling scars. The more serious type, ice pick or box scars, which go deeper into the skin, require urgent attention. And important to recognize when a scar is a scar. I think a lot of people think of pigmentation marks as being scars, when in fact a scar means a physical defect creating an indentation on the surface of the skin. Something positive to think about at this stage is your need for cosmetics. Now, I so frequently see patients who've done it amazingly. Their skin has cleared, they're literally almost clear, still hanging on to their heavier coverage products. when this is really a time to celebrate the hard work. It's a time to be proud of what you've achieved. And I think that the best way to do that is by lightening up with the coverage that you use. So embrace a tinted moisturizer where before you used a foundation, and maybe a tinted sunscreen on those bold days when you're just popping out to do errands or going to the gym with just a little concealer. So change your cosmetics based on what you see in the mirror rather than what you feel in your head. And I think that's the other thing to talk about, is that it can take a really long time to let go of the pain and suffering that goes along with having acne. And I often see patients 6 months, 9 months after they've really gotten into that maintenance phase where everything is really well controlled. And and that's okay. It's absolutely fine. But I think really important to be objective about the improvements that you've made, and to let go a lot of that angst and headspace that breakouts and the instability of your skin caused you, and really move on with your life and embrace the new, fresh, clear complexion that you've got under control. I really hope you've enjoyed this series, guys. I've really enjoyed putting it together for you, and I really look forward to reading your comments. So please let me know how you found this series and if you'd like more along the same lines. Bye for now.